Okay, I'm back again. I know it has been a little while, and I often say that, but sorry about that. Been very busy. Life has kind of taken over. Been a lot going on in my life. But I'm back, and I'm starting a new series where you guys can track me or follow my journey as I take a small amount and grow to a big amount. And why am I doing this? Because I thought a lot of people that follow any trading channel on YouTube, you are possibly you, maybe not you, but if it is you, you are looking to make some money online. You don't want to put too much. You don't want to invest a huge amount because it is risky. Trading is risky, and you want to just make something from not a huge amount. See if you can grow a substantial amount from something that is not actually gonna break the bank. So that's what I want to give to you guys, and this is actually shaping up. Now, I've actually been following a strategy that I've seen a heck of a lot recently, a strategy that I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos come up. It's happening kind of all the time. Let me just move that out the way. Let me just move that there. All right, that's about right. So this is shaping up. I just want to get an idea of what size I'm looking at. So just bear with me, guys. Once we're in the trade here, I'll be talking through exactly what I want to do, what I'm thinking of. Okay, so let's just see how this one will play out. Now, if we are looking at longs, I don't know if we're looking at longs yet or not. This is roughly what we'll be looking at in terms of our stop, a 53 stop. Okay, so that's fine. I might actually go a little bit bigger. Let me just zoom out a little bit more to 2 o'clock yesterday. Now you'll see why I'm doing that, guys. All will be revealed. That gives me a slightly bigger stop. You see 79, a little bit more comfortable with that stop. So all I'm waiting for now is a break of the opening range. And that's exactly the strategy I've been seeing a lot. And I've been testing it myself, and I'm going to show you the test. And this is kind of what I'm basing this new series around, right? So you guys are going to follow me. I'm going to be taking a small amount. And I actually want you guys to you guys can decide what you want me to trade, right? Is it going to be the 5%? Do you want me to start the boot camp? Because that's one option, because that's not very expensive. It takes a little bit longer, but you don't have to really get in with that much. You can actually start with a very small amount and potentially grow to a very large amount. Sorry, something on my tongue. The other option is to start with a 10K account, 10,000 challenge, but we're going very aggressive. I'll be taking every single one of my trades. I'll be risking 2%. Now, most prop firms will have your max loss at about 8 or 10%. So I'm taking on 8%. That means I essentially have 4 trades. I have 4 trades. If I lose 4 trades in a row, then I'm done. But if I make money, then it gives me a little bit more, right? Depending on the type of drawdown. If it is a drawdown that is following you, it's trailing, then you will always only have a 4 trade loss. If I take 4 trades in a row, then I'm pretty much done. Now, a lot of the back testing I've done, I'll show you some of the back testing I've done a lot of back testing around the orb. And I think the worst I've got is a 3 losing trades in a row. So it's looking pretty good. And even if I do lose, it doesn't matter, because over the long run, I think this is a strategy that if I go aggressive, I can potentially pass challenges fast, make some money fast, and then even if I lose it, it doesn't matter. But then I'll have the option to either make lots of money fast until I lose the account, as long as I'm getting those withdrawals, that's the main thing, or go a little bit slower, slow it down, and actually look for scaling up, with companies like the 5%, that makes sense. So the few options I've got 5%ers. I can either take the lower challenge, which is like a 10K challenge. We're going to look at all of that now. And that basically means that I can go in with a lot more, because I think it's about $100 or so. That means, let's say my starting risk, I'm saying I can only put in $500, right? Now, if yours is less, that's fine. You choose the option that works best for you. For example, the boot camp, you could go in for that because that's actually a lot less. Or you could go for something like a futures, where you're trading futures and you only pay a very small fee up front for your 50K account. For example, I think it's like 40 something dollars in some cases. And then only when you pass do you pay your fee. So let's say once you pass, you pay your $40, and then once you pass, it's like $129 or something like that, right? Then you pay it, but you've already passed then, and you should be able to make back your money with, 3 or 4 trades, 3 or 4 days, trading quite, not going too overly risky. Right, let's have a look at what's happening here. So I'm essentially waiting for this to break above. I'm on the 5-minute, break above and close above or below, and I'll be looking at taking my longs or my shorts depending on what is happening. And I'm not really going to be teaching this now. A lot of things are going to change on this channel, guys, because I was screwed over quite heavily by, if any of you guys remember, I did that giveaway recently. The guy that I did the giveaway, that won the giveaway. Now, I'm not affiliated with a prop firm. I said I would give you a 5%'ers 50K account, which is that's like a little over $300, which is not a small amount of money. But I'm not affiliated with them, so I can't, just get the account. I essentially have to either log into the person's account for them. They have to give me their credentials. Or I have to give the money and then trust that they'll do that. Now, I did that, unfortunately. I put too much trust in the person, and they just took the money and they didn't sign up. Now, it is what it is. They won. I didn't say you can win enough money to get a challenge. I said you will win a challenge. Now, they assured me that once I send the money, they will sign up and they'll send me all the information. And then they'll show me. And I was willing to literally work with this guy to get to potentially passing a 50K account and getting to a funded 50K account, in which case, just one payout could have been $1,000 to $2,000 rather than that $300. But this guy decided he wanted to just take the money, and then he cut me off. So he took the money and then, would not respond to me thereafter. So, it just got me thinking. The other thing that kind of, I understand how YouTube works and I understand it all, but it's very frustrating because that video that I said I was going to do a giveaway, yes, I'm doing that for views. Let's I'm not going to beat around the bush, but that was, the video that I got the most views from, and I got the most subscribes from because I said that you had to subscribe, right? The very next video, no giveaway, and it was like nothing. So I just thought, it's very fickle, this industry, and people just want something for nothing. And I'm not about just, give. I want to give, but I want you guys to learn as well. So I thought, there's no point me. I had big plans to do all this stuff, but I thought there's no point me, selling my soul. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just trade my way. I'll track it. You guys can follow. If you like what you see, sub up. If not, I don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm going to be real now. I'm not really going to be doing this YouTube channel for, I want loads of subscribers. It'll be nice. But I want people to subscribe because I like what they see. They are liking what I'm doing. They like my journey. They want to follow my journey. They want to learn from my journey. That's it. That's all I care about. I don't really care about, if people are just coming on to get something for free. Quite honestly, they can piss off. So, I've been a little bit annoyed with that, but, it is what it is. And we are now coming to close to having this close. So now I just want to check. I'm going to open this. I'll show you guys how we get our position size. Let me just open a new one. And I'm going to say NAS, lot size calculator. I actually have a lot size calculator in my 5%ers here. I'll show you. So I'm risking 1%. All right, let's go back to this. Risking 1%. My stop is going to be, let's call it 80. My stop is going to be 80. Where am I going? I want to go up here. My stop loss is going to be 80. We're looking at a potential buy, so I'm going to put that there. Not 80, it should be. Is it 800? It should probably be 8. Is it 800? Yeah, I think so. So let me just zoom out. So would that be what we're looking at? Let me have a look. Where is the stop? 1 second, guys. Stop is going to be at around 24.95. Let me just copy that. We'll go back to here. Stop is going to be around 24.90. It's about there, I would say. Yeah, so that's pretty good. My risk is going to be that, and my profit is going to be much higher. So we're going to look for much higher than that. I want to put my stop maybe a little bit lower than that. Let's see if we actually break above, which we have, and now we're going to enter that. I'm going to enter this, and we're going to say yes. Right, so just like that, we're in the trade. If I do get stopped out, what does this say? Yeah, about 1,000. So my risk calculator is actually working really nicely. Yes, this might push down and close me straight away. It is what it is, but that is the strategy. So we'll see how this goes. I just want to open this up a little bit. We'll pull this down. So that's the position right there. So let's see how this goes. Risking $1,000, hopefully to make at least 1,000 or 2,000. As soon as it gets to a 1-to-1, I will close, or at least go to break even. So let's have a look at what that looks like. We'll go to there. It's about the same. Yeah, looks good. So I wonder if that is, so the stop is 804. So whatever I see in there, it's basically 1,000. Okay, yeah. So on this, it's saying 79. So it's actually 7,980. So it would actually be, ours is over there, like 80 something, just about over there. Yeah. All right. So we're in the trade. Exactly what happened. Let me just show you guys. We broke above there, and now we are taking a trade in the direction that we break. And that's it. It's as simple as that. That's the orb strategy. Now, what I would like to do is actually, I will kind of follow, and what that means is if you look at, let's go to the trade over the weekend. So it pushed up, and as it gets to 1.1, I bring my stop to break even. And then what I'll do is I will kind of ladder in as much as I can. I'm pretty much looking for a 1-to-2, but if I feel like it's going to push further, then I'll just stage it in all the way. And I'll show you where that has happened, not over there. So if we did break down the bottom here, let me just show you what that would look like. Let me just move this out the way. I just want to get my rectangle tool. See, I can't even, this stuff's all in the way here, guys. My rectangle tool. All right, there we go. So you can see as we push down, I kind of use that as my trail. Then it pushes down even further. Then this will be my shelf, and then it'll come back and tap me out there, right? That's how I would trade it. So let's have a look where we are right now. Let's hope we get a reverse here, kind of taps up, pushes back down, and then pushes back up again. We'll see if we do get that. But either way, I don't care if we lose or not, because I've tested this over and over and over again. How do I get my stop? So what I do for my stop loss, guys, is I am basically going to, in my trading view, this is dynamic. So every time I click my buy or sell, you'll see over here, if I take a buy, if I zoom far out and I have, depending on how many candles are in my screen, it's taking all of that volume into account. Now look how much bigger that is, right? See my stop? Now let me close that, delete that, and then I'll come closer into like just today's, and I take a buy based on that. You're gonna see how much smaller my stop loss is, right? So I've tested this based on the last, and I always put just to about 3 o'clock the next day, the day before, sorry. So see there, 3 o'clock the previous day, That's the candles I want in. And then that's when I basically put I use my trading view. I do it in trading view because trading view kind of automatically calculates that for me. And that's how I use my dynamic risk. That gives me, based on the last 24 or so hours, not even 24 hours, that'll give me how much the market is moving. As long as you don't have news, don't trade into news. I would always suggest, if you are opening and you have news coming up, I would always say maybe don't trade that day. If you have big news, from my experience, don't trade the big news days, just because it can mess around with everything, right? Because if you're taking that as your dynamic risk, news coming into play, that does not care about the volume over the last 24 hours. News does not care, right? So it is going to hit you hard. Let's have a look at what this looks like. There we go. So hopefully soon we should potentially be going into some profit. So if we hit there, we are going to be losing 1,000. We're currently sitting on about $800. Now this is exactly the same account you guys saw me trade with before, and I'd work my way up to about 2,500. I have, however, taken a few losses with that fib, the kind of strategy I was using before, which is fine. I don't mind the losses, but the problem is it takes a long time. And this is a strategy, that fib strategy that I was using is a very good strategy to use on a personal account, where you can maybe go into a little bit more drawdown. You don't mind getting a little bit more drawdown. But for this, I just wanted to be a little bit more aggressive. So I've tried a few different things. I've kind of used this account now as a testing playground, just to test things. Now this is where I am, and I'm currently using a 1% risk, see where that takes me. But I'm actually on the smaller account. When I start the small account, I'm going to start a new spreadsheet where I start small account, risking 2% per trade. 4 trades in a row, I'm out, buy again, right? So what I've been doing is I'll show you guys what I've been doing. I've been running this test, right? So was it this one? I think it was this one. Yes. So my first 3, I started back in the beginning of February. I didn't trade January because January is just a weird sort of month. Let me just move this down. All with the 5%ers, as if I was taking a 100K account. Now I'm going to be doing exactly the same as this. I'm going to be starting account, run that account all the way through. I'm not going to be taking more than one account for now. I'm just going to be starting one account, run that through until I pass or fail, make as much money as I can, then start using that money to buy into more accounts and see if I can duplicate the size of the accounts, doing it this way. So basically this one took me 4 days and I passed, and then it took me 11 days, which it took me a little bit longer to get the 5%. So it shows you, it's not 100%, perfect. You're going to have times where it's a little bit slower, but I did get the pass, and then took me, can't remember exactly how long, but I pushed for 7,200 because you have to have three days that you're positive. So this one I just pushed for 3 days. This one, the next one, I passed phase 1. It took me 8 days. Phase 2, I failed after 7 days, so that was it. The next one took me 4 days to pass phase 1, took me 3 days to pass phase 2, and then a little bit after that, within 3 days, I could actually draw 5,400. So just kind of reduced it slightly. As long as you're making more than $500 a day, you can withdraw. So from both of those, I was able to take a fair amount. You can see you can go quite aggressive with this. I'm about to start my next, which is going to be starting on the 31st of March. So I'm just going to keep running this and see how I go. So at the moment, my stats are pretty good. You can see my stats here. 66% funded rate, $12,000 made. Yes, this is all just, on a back test, but it is actual data. So it's not like and I'm using FX replay. So you can't cheat on FX replay. So, I kind of trust the results. I'm going to be running this a little bit more, but then I'm going to be running that series. So you guys can follow me if you want for the series, which will be pretty cool. So let's have a look. So we should be up a little bit now. Let's go to this. We are up a little bit, currently $85. I'd like this to push to $1,000 so I can bring my stop to break even. I'd like to see this push up quite aggressively now. That'll be pretty cool. Now, what I can do as well, what I do sometimes if I am a little bit, just want to kind of, see how price goes. Let me just do this so we can actually see the candles a bit bigger. So what I'll do is as we start breaking price, I can actually start following in the same way, right? So as we push up and we break this, as this breaks up, I can pull my stop to there. As we push past and break the next high, I can pull this to the low. And that's where my stop can follow, just so I can kind of secure some form of profit. But that's not really how I've been testing it. I've been testing it when I get 1-to-1. That's when I go to break even and I just push for the full 2,000. Now, if I see price messing around a little bit, after that, maybe I'll just close with a 1 or a little bit higher than 1,000 profit. So we'll just take it as it comes. Friday and last week, Thursday and Friday, both of those days I did trade. This day pushed to 1-to-1, brought it to break even, and then it was a break even trade. This one, I think it went to a break even, and then I actually took another trade, broke that, pulled back, broke again, and I think I had, just because it was Friday, I closed on about 200 or so profit. Sorry, I was on about 500. I took 50% off, which is about 250, and then I think it stopped me out. So it might have been on this move, actually. It might have been on this move. I was on about 500 up there, took 50%, and then it came down and took me out. Just because it was Friday, I didn't want to, push it too much. So got a little bit out of the, sorry, that was Thursday. Got a little bit out of Thursday. So, but now we're going to go, and we were only trading, we were only risking 500, 0.5% then. So this is how we'll be trading it, guys, and I'm going to show you now. Let me go to the 5%ers quickly. I think I had the 5%ers over here, so let me show you this. So the boot camp is one very cool option, right? If you want to go to the 100K, to get to a 100K account, it's only going to cost you 95, but you have 3 phases, right? Initial balance, you get 25,000. Your profit target is 6,000, and your max loss is only 5,000. So this I would only trade at a 1% risk, which means I get 5 trades, right? And it's a leverage of 1 to 10, unlimited time, and a $5 hub credit, whatever that means. I'm not sure. Now, once I get to the 100K account, I will then have to pay 205 for basically getting my access to that account. But at that point, it means I have got a $100,000 funded account, and all I need to do is take a few small trades to make sure that I get that 295, what is that, $300 back, get that $300 back, and I think you can be, at that point, your profit share on 100K, start 100K, it's a 50-50. So let's say I make $1,000, I take 500, I've got my money back. And then from that point on, every time you hit a target of 5%, they upgrade you to the next size. So from 100K, you'll get pushed up to 125, then you go up to 150. And you can work your way up all the way up to a $4 million account, guys, with the bootcamp, which is incredible. And it's not that expensive, right? So one thing I want to ask them, because I noticed that the 250 is a 225 start and then a 350, but the 20,000 account says nothing. So I'm not sure if this means it's free. I'll have to contact them and find out, because if it's free to start that, and there's maybe on hitting the 20K, unless this is just kind of a sort of a demo account just to practice. I'll have to ask them. I'll let you guys know, because if that is free, that is a great way to potentially get in without any risk, right? Take you some time, but at the same time, you're practicing trading, right? So it'll be a great way to do that. Now, the other option is high stakes, where we are basically, let's have a look. $10K account, right? $10K account, your cost would be $78. $78, you get a 10K, you go step 1, Maximum loss is 10%, so you can actually go 5 trades in a row as well, which will be pretty cool. Your profit target is only 8%, so that's a great ratio, a 10% max loss, but only an 8% profit target, right? And then 2 phases, and then you are a trader. You've got to get 3 profitable days if you want to scale, and then your scaling is like this. So if you start on the 50K, where's the 50? Here we go. If you start at 50, or is it 60? It might be 60. When you hit 10%, you get upgraded to 70. Hit 10%, you get upgraded to 80. 10% get upgraded to, and you can go all the way to a 500K account, right? So you can also scale that way. So there's a few options there, and then there's also the futures option where you can kind of take, I think, 5 accounts at the same time. Some of them allow you to stack more than that, and then you can just start copy trading, right? So that's another great way that you could potentially be doing that. All right, we're looking good here. We are moving up. That's the right direction. So let's have a look what this looks like on our board over here. Okay, so we're currently sitting on $200 profit. I like that to push up a little bit more. Maybe just because it's the first day trading, first Monday, and it doesn't look like it's huge amount of volume. What I might do is if it gets to 500, bring my stop to break even, or even look at the 1 minute and just see where we can do that. Let me do that now. Let's have a look at the 1 minute. 1 minute. So according to this, they've already said take your profit, but I don't look at that. I don't look at that. So we did break. We broke over there, so this would be actually where our stop could be right now. So I could potentially look at putting my stop there already, but I would want to kind of just see how we go with this. It's actually pushing down quite hard now. If we break this again, then we can pull our stop to there. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll start pulling the stop or trailing the stop on the 1 minute, just because it's not really moving that fast. And for me, you know, maybe I'll already kind of secure some profits. It's Monday, so I don't want to go too aggressive. So what this says is we can pull our stop already to... No, screw it. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna let this ride out. I'm gonna keep letting this play. We'll go $1,000. There we go. We'll let this play. I'm not gonna fiddle around with it too much. I've tested this. If we lose, we lose. It is what it is, right? What is this? Let me just have a look at this. Close, partial. Auto break even. So I can click this and it'll go straight to break even. Where is my auto break even? I've got to figure this out still, guys. Symbol, no, okay. Oh, I've actually got to select it. And then I've got to say auto break even, right? Oh, I don't want that there. Can I close this break even? I don't want this. Delete. Oh shit. I don't want this break even here. Okay, now I've got an auto break even there. All right, well, let's just... Let me just pull this down. I'll go auto break even. It's there. Okay. So it's kind of where I would be putting the break even anyway. No, I don't like that though. I've got to still figure out this. I don't really like this break even thing. I don't really want that. Is there a way I can remove it? I've got to still figure this out. What does this mean? Symbol. Maybe I will just put this to there for now. There you go, auto break even. It's gone now. I don't have a break even. I don't know. I've got to figure this risk calculator out. It's the first time I'm trading with it. I mean, it's pretty cool, but yeah, I've got to just figure it all out first. What am I currently sitting on? Okay, I'll just leave it as it is. I don't know what CSTM means. %. Close, break even. All right, I'll wait till it gets to 1,000, then I'll just go break even. I think that's what I'll do, if it does. I don't want to play around with it too much. All right. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at, guys. I'm looking at one of those, or the other option is to go in with a like a Ola Prime or any of those. But I want to take a company that I trust. I can still do a smaller account with these. Even if I have a 100K account with these guys, I can still go in with a. I am really considering the boot camp, just because it's so cheap to enter. Yes, it's going to take me a little bit of time, but let's have a look. If I were to go with gosh, where is this? Okay, here. So if I were to go with the 100K account, it would only cost me $95. And then if I pass, it'll cost me $300. But at that point, I'm not spending the $300 to take the challenge like I would with any other account, right? I'm spending the $300 to secure and then I have a funded account. So for me, I think that's a great way to do it. And then we can start pushing it a little bit more aggressively. Now, once you get to the boot camp, the funded trader, your max loss is only 4%. So you have got to trade a little bit more passively. But it's the same as a 10% and an 8% halved, right? So essentially, I would be risking 2% per trade normally. But now because it's half, I'll still be risking 1% per trade, right? So I can still go fairly aggressive. It still gives me 4 trades. And I can still make some money. And even once I get to the funded trader, I could risk that. I could go down even to 0.5% risk, or even 0.25, because at that point it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to grow the account and I'm trying to consistently level up, right? So yeah, that's where we are. That's what we're looking at. Okay, this is coming down on me a little bit. It's fine though. Let me just move this like this. So we'll see how this trade goes, guys. I will kind of pop back later and let you know how this trade plays out.